talk, there's a different way that you can make words. There's a different spelling, different sound, different grammar, right? Most people in the States, in England, in Australia, they only speak English, right? Maybe their English is pretty good, but that doesn't mean they're really good at teaching English because they don't understand how it works, right? It's the same thing if I ask you guys, 你们都会中文，对不对？ Okay. 可以教我中文吗？ Can you teach me some Chinese?
看你想学哪方面的，有一些我可以，有一些我不行。
Yeah? Well, what if I ask you about this?
200。
为什么200不对？ Why? All of the other numbers, you only have one word. Right? All of the other numbers, you have one word. 一是一，没有别的一。3是3，没有别的3。可是2有2跟2。
你知道为什么？你知道为什么吗？
Yeah, I understand why.
Really?
Yeah, I can explain. This is a number. The whole thing is a number, like the number in English 20. It's one word. This is actually one word. Nope, that's 2 words. That one. Alright? It's one word. That's why. This one, it's a number that you count to. It's a quantity. 有两本数，两位学生，200. By is a thing that you count. And that's why you need 2, because by isn't part of this number system. By is a quantity. You count how many there are. That's why this one uses 2 instead of 2. Okay? Now, there's a little bit more. If you look at all of the other ways that these 2 words work, you can add a bit to that explanation. Maybe a professional Chinese teacher could explain it better. But in all of the time I've spent in Taiwan, I found one teacher who could tell me. Okay? That means knowing the language does not mean you can understand how it works. So, let's go back to our 注音符号。一、五、日、啊、哦、a， 还有什么 ？I, a, all right, we don't need to worry about those others for now. This will do. What's the difference? What's the difference between these sounds? First question, when we say A, B, C, is there a reason why A comes first? Is there a reason why A and B are together? A and B, 他们有没有关系? Is there a relationship between A and B? 有没有? A 跟 B 他们有没有关系?
没有。
没有。B 跟 C 有没有关系? 没有。E 跟 U 有没有关系?
也许有关系。他们有因为。
They're part of the same group. E, U, U. They're special. How are they special? They're not like any other sounds in Chinese, in the 注音符号. How are those special? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the same sound?
Yep.
Is it the same sound?
Yeah.
Is this iya? Yeah. Is there a y here? Is it b? So these are different sounds. Here it's e. Here it's y. 对不对？母音子音。Okay? Make sense? English has sounds that work the same way, but u is the same way, right? If you put u here, it's wa, right? So u and wa, and it's also y, but it's more of a y, right? If I put y and what? Right? So, those sounds are special. How are these sounds different from these sounds?
就那个可以摆上下，这个只摆下面。
I didn't catch all of that, sorry. My Chinese is not really. Yeah, so. How are these different from these?
这两排只能摆在下面。
It's not about where they go. It's not about where they all go at the end of the word. These can go in the middle, or at the beginning, or at the end. But these can only go at the end, right? So that makes them the same. But how is this group different from this group? Remember what we were talking about to begin with? These are different words, right? We're talking about how Chinese is the same as English. So, okay, have fun. So, quickly, 啊，它是几个音？啊，几个音？一个音。I 几个音？一个音。
呀，两个音。
What two sounds are in here? I. E. Good. Okay. That's how it is. So what's the difference between these sounds and these sounds? A, O, E. 它们都是几个音？一个音。Now, this is the cool part about the Zunfu Hao. You need to understand this. It works to help people understand the sounds. That's what it's for. If you want to make your English better, you should use all of the tools that you have. There's no easy way, but it's a lot easier if you understand how your language works. Your language has a really useful tool to explain the sounds. It explains how the sounds go together. This is one group. These are semi-vowels, banmuing, because they can be vowels and they can also be consonants. They're half and half, right? These are short vowels, duanmuing, because they only have one sound. These are two sounds. So if these are short, these are long, all right? Duanmuing, changmuing, right? So we have these groups. Use the way the Zunfu Hao is organized to help you understand. This group here is really great because here we see a, we see A. What group are those from? The long vowels take one sound from here, and the second sound is from where? Are there any sounds that are two of these together? How about A and A? Try putting them together. A ja A. It doesn't work very well, right? How about O and Yeah, it doesn't work, does it? So, if the first sound comes from here, and the second sound comes from here, what's the second sound? Ow. Ooh, yeah. So what's this one here? O. Yeah, ooh. Okay. The Chinese Zhongfuhao, the vowels, is really helpful because it helps us to remember that every one of these is two sounds. Now, long and short, right? 长的跟短的，有没有可能英文是一样的？ So， 哪里不一样？ Okay. Which one is long?
Apple.
Right? You all learned something about English in high school, in elementary school. If there's an E at the end, then this is right, long, right? The basic pattern is, if we have two vowels, then it's long, right? If there's two vowels here, then it's long. If there's only one vowel, then it's short, okay? Also, we have this pattern, two consonants, and this one will be short, right? So, 英文短的母音，短的 A 是 A， 跟它一样 A，OK？ 长的 A 是 A， 两个音 That's the important part, okay? If all you do is make the short sound long, there's snack and snack, then nobody will understand what you're saying. Okay? The important part with these sounds is that our short sounds have a different quality. This is A. It's open, A. Okay? But A has two sounds. Right? A. It's hard to keep your mouth open when you say A. You can't really do that. Alright? So, short sounds, easy. We can keep our mouth open. A. Right? We have A, E, I, O. Right? 短的都是要打开 Okay? Now, that means the long sounds, they need two sounds, but they're also usually closed. So we have A, E. It's not just E, it's actually two E's. E, I, O, U. Okay? Now in Chinese, if I say 我想去台北 还是我想去台北 does it make any difference? 台北 北湖 Does it make any difference? If I say this instead of this, does it change the way you understand me? Is this a different word? Yeah. Is this a different word? This word doesn't exist. There's almost no places in Chinese where you can change A for A or O for O. There are almost no places where you could have both the short sound and the long sound in the same place. So it doesn't really matter. If you say Taipei, Beihou, nobody cares, nobody notices, because it's not a different word. But in English, if you say, I want to eat a snake, instead of I want to eat a snack, then people will tell the difference. It's different words, right? So, the same is that Chinese has both sounds. You have long and you have short, just like English. But what's different is, in English, it matters which sounds are long and short. In Chinese, you have both sounds, but it doesn't change the word. It doesn't change which word it is. Okay? So, the same thing, you can use the 准辅号 to understand the sounds. But in English, what's different is that the different sounds make different words. And usually it's an important difference. Usually it makes a big difference to whether people understand you. Okay? Now, almost everybody said, my name is.
My name is.
Now, I'm going to pick on you just for a little bit, okay? Because you happen to have a good name for this, and I usually use that name for my examples anyway. If you say, my name is Ben, how do we spell that? My name is Ben. My name is Ben. But that's not what you want to say, right? I mean, there's a difference between Jack and Jake, right? The vowel is important. This is also important. So what's the difference between these two? Again, English. L 跟 M 有没有关系？没有。So the English alphabet won't help us. Let's look at the 准辅号. Do you remember the beginning of the 准辅号? What are the first sounds? B, P, Now let me know if I do anything wrong. But you're supposed to tell me if I do something wrong. Right? But you're not telling me what I'm doing wrong. 哪里写错的？这边的哪里写错的？Where is it wrong?